Hello everyone, and welcome back to the MJ Innocent podcast. My name is Moonwalker Tanya, and I am your host. Alright, so if you haven't checked out part 1, the positive side of the MJ community, please go check that out before you watch this episode. This is part 2, the negative side of the community. And there will be 5 parts that I will be discussing in this episode. First of all, I also want to make it very clear that you don't have to be in the community in order to be a fan. And not everyone in the community is like this. These are just things that the community needs to work on in order to be better. Okay, so first, some fans like to use the term fake fan. I absolutely hate it when people do that. The only time I would consider someone a fake fan is if they claim to be a Michael Jackson fan, but they think he's guilty, when literally there isn't any evidence to support the allegations. And we also have to remember that the accusers, they only went after money, and they were uncooperative with the authorities. And that's not what real victims do. If you were a victim, you would do anything the court system wanted you to do. And also, if you're a real victim, you would go to the police first, not a civil lawyer, or the media for that matter. And the second part that I will be discussing in this episode, it actually kind of combines with part 1, the fake fan thing. And part 2 is when some fans think that you are not a loyal fan if you don't listen to Michael's music constantly, you don't talk about him constantly, you don't write posts about him constantly, that if you don't like every single song or every single short film or whatever, like, they will either call you a fake fan or you're just not loyal, and it's ridiculous. And my good friend Joey from Moonwalking Kingdom, he has, unfortunately, a lot of experience with these kind of fans who are like this. There have been many times when he was called a fake fan just because he didn't like a certain song or something. I mean, you don't have to like every single song or short film that Michael made in order to be a Michael Jackson fan, It's stupid. I mean, believe it or not, there was a time when I didn't like the song In the Closet. I didn't like it the first time I heard it. But I listened to it a few more times. I started to like it. Let me put it another way. The song Blood on the Dance Floor. I like the lyrics, but I don't like the beat of the song. Do I listen to Michael's music every day? No, I used to. But you know what? That's okay. I'll usually listen to maybe 1 or 2 songs a day. It depends. But there are other artists that I like to listen to, and that is okay. And to the fans who think that it needs to be Michael Jackson 24/7, you're making the community look bad. And yeah, of course Michael loved the fact that we loved his music and everything that he did for us, but he wouldn't want you to put him over other artists. I remember there was a time where Joey was doing a live stream. He was doing a watch party. It was for a Janet Jackson concert. And everything was going very well. But then all of a sudden, Joey paused the stream. He put the camera back on himself. And he had his hand over his face. And I was like, well, what happened here? And there was a comment that he pulled up on the screen. And of course, I had trouble seeing it because the print wasn't big enough. So I took a screenshot of it, went into the gallery, and then zoomed in. And this person said that Joey needs to go back to being a loyal Michael Jackson fan. And Joey was pissed, and so was I. You know, and I'm very protective of Joey and all of my close friends in the community, you know, because Joey was literally being attacked for no reason whatsoever. So just because he likes Janet Jackson, he's not a loyal Michael Jackson fan? That is the dumbest thing that I've ever heard. Joey is one of the most popular people in this MJ community. He has done so much for Michael. And I am tired of the fans who give him a hard time for nothing. He doesn't deserve it. And when I realized what that comment was, I went into the live chat and I said to that person, hey, don't talk to Joey like that. This is his channel and he can talk about whatever he wants. And he said that he's going to talk about other artists on Moonwalking Kingdom along with Michael Jackson content, and that is perfectly fine. And I don't want to see anyone give him a hard time. Okay. Let's move on to part 3, which is when some fans try to treat Michael like a god. Whether if you are religious or not, there isn't any judgment here. But as a religious person myself, I'm always furious when I see that stuff. I know that there's a group called the Church of Michael Jackson. It needs to be taken down. I don't know if the platform will ever remove it. I've seen photoshopped pictures of Michael dressed up as God, and it pisses me off. Because here's the thing, Michael is not God, okay? He was created by God. Michael was a human being like every single one of us. He has made mistakes like how every single one of us have made mistakes. Michael would even be furious if he knew about the fans who treat him like a god. He said himself, quote, "In no way do I think that I am God, but I try to be godlike," end quote. He also said, quote, "I try to imitate Jesus. I'm not saying that I am Jesus. I'm not saying that at all," end quote. So don't treat him like a god. You're making yourself look crazy, and you're also making the MJ community look crazy too. Okay, so let's move on to part 4, the death hoax community. As you guys know, I do not like to talk about the death hoax on this channel. I might talk about it on my second channel, which is currently known as the John List podcast, but I was advised by my friends from MLC to talk about other cases on the channel to help it grow. And I think that's a good idea. I have that channel kind of on the back burner for now because I'm going to be making changes. So I want to take my time and figure out how I'm going to do it. I got to think of a new title and what kind of cases I might be talking about, but some of the other cases I still need to do research. So it'll take time. But I might discuss what happened to Michael when it comes to his death on that channel. But to give like a summary, basically what the death hoax is trying to do is claim that Michael faked his death. You know, they come up with these ridiculous, as they call them, clues, when really it's nonsense. And the reason why they do this is because there isn't a law in the US to protect the dead. They can make money off their lies, and there's unfortunately nothing that Michael's estate or Michael's family can do about it. Unless the lies are about, like, someone in the family who's actually still alive. And I've seen so many of the ridiculous clues, and it makes me sick to my stomach because they are literally calling Katherine Jackson a liar. And you have to remember, though, that even though the casket was closed during the public memorial, during the private memorial, it was open, and a lot of credible people saw him in the casket. And what was the leader of the death hoax community's response to all of this? Well, fine if you prefer Michael dead. I would never prefer Michael dead. Just like how I've lost loved ones that I don't prefer dead. But just because, I can't just sit here and say, oh, they're not dead. Unfortunately, they are. Even though the person who murdered Michael wasn't really severely punished for it, he didn't go to jail for nothing. The death hoax was even trying to say that was fake. Oh, gosh. But anyway, I stay away from that crap, and I highly recommend that you do as well. We can have different opinions, but I have made it very clear of what the death hoax has to do in order to prove me wrong, and I know for a fact that they will not do it. Okay. And what I hate about the death hoax the most is that they are giving fans false hope. Michael has been gone for almost 15 years, unfortunately. I'm not going to call his family a liar. And you also have to remember that Tom Mesereau was at the private memorial and saw Michael in the casket. I'm not going to call him a liar either. Karen Faye and Michael Bush prepared Michael's body for the memorial and put him in the casket. I'm not going to call them liars. But the leader of the death hoax community is a journalist who is making money selling DVDs and can't be sued for defamation. Okay. That's enough of that. And part 5, the people in the community. I have met a lot of great people in the community. Some of them I've become very good friends with. There were a few that I had to distance myself from because one in particular, this happened over a year ago. He is a very strong defender of Michael, and he's in his 50s. And he and I would actually go after MJ haters together, but then he was starting to be a little too blunt with me, and so I tried to give him a few warnings, just because, yeah. But he continued to be blunt, and so I said goodbye, and I blocked him. I haven't talked to him in over a year, and I'm good with that, The second person tried to message me on Instagram saying that there was an emergency in the MJ community and we had to do an Instagram live to talk about it. And I told him that I was spending time with my family, including someone who was bedridden, and their time was running short. And I told them that I was not going to stop my family time to do an Instagram live regarding the community. And I'm probably going to piss off some people by saying this, but you know what? It needs to be said. I love Michael Jackson and I love this community, but when I'm spending time with my family, there is no such thing as an emergency in the MJ community. And so, after I was done spending time, I messaged this person. I was like, okay, what's this big emergency? And they said, there's an Instagram hacker. I was like, that's the big emergency that you were trying to pull me away from my family? I was like, dude, do you even know what an emergency is? Yeah. So anyway, it kind of ended in a situation where this individual was trash talking me and spreading lies about me to other people, and I wasn't going to tolerate it, so I blocked him. And my friend Unbreakable Magic told me that this individual wanted to have a conversation with me, so the three of us were in a group chat, and we just kept going back and forth where I said, I told you I was spending time with my family. The individual said, no, you didn't. I was like, yes, I did. And they were like, you're lying, Tanya. And I was like, I'm not lying. And then Unbreakable Magic remembered that I took a screenshot of that message and sent it to him. So he found the screenshot and posted it in the group chat. And this individual said, oh, I forgot about that. I was like, oh, no, you don't. I was like, you didn't forget. You lied on me. And you trash talked me for literally no reason. And I'm not going to put up with that. And this individual said, well, what can I do to prove to you how sorry I am? I was like, this is exactly what you're going to do. You are going to write a post on your Instagram revealing that you lied to me and lied on me to other people. And you're going to stop it. Because if you really want another chance as a friend, then I'm going to give you a warning right now. You are on extremely thin ice. And if you mess up again, that's it. And this individual wrote that post. I took a screenshot of it, which is actually a good thing because apparently the Instagram hacker took that account. So the entire account's gone, but yeah. And he knows I have it. But I am happy to report that he took my warning very seriously. And I am educating him on things about Michael. He actually used to be a death hoax supporter, but I am happy to report that after I educated him, he left the death hoax community. Yeah. And he's been doing good ever since, and he still apologizes. And I said, look, even though you're still on thin ice, you have proven of how sorry you are. So, continue to be the improved person that you are, and we won't have any problems. Unfortunately, not everyone in the community took my warning seriously. And I'm not going to tell the entire story just because there are so many twists and turns with this last person that I'm afraid I would even lose track because it's just so tangled up. But basically, I was trying to help someone, and in return, they lied to me and lied on me to others. And they kept saying, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. But they did it again and again and again and again. And I had questions of why this individual did this. They just told me that they couldn't think of anything to give me, and it was frustrating. And recently, this individual said the reason why I did it was because I wasn't thinking. Well, I don't know. I really don't know what to think anymore, because they're still lying to other people. So I kind of feel like an idiot that I, tried to give this person one more chance than they deserved. But I guess it's just because that's the part of me that doesn't want to give up on people. But at the end of the day, I've realized that I have to look out for myself. And, unfortunately, in every situation, even in the MJ community, you might meet some people who do not have the best interests at heart. But, like I said, these situations rarely happen. Overall, I've been in the community for 5 years, and it has been a very good experience. I do my best to stay away from the toxic side, and yeah. Hopefully, over time, things in the community will get better, but, all you can do is take it day by day and see if you can help the people who don't necessarily have the best mindset on how to be an MJ fan. Okay, so let me know how you feel about this in the comments, and I will see you soon.